Joined tonight by Congresswoman Jackie Speier of California, who is the vice chair of the President's Gun Violence Task Force. Great to have you with us.
Great to be with you.
You have been touched personally. You were a victim of gun violence. You survived the massacre at Jonestown. What did the President's words mean to you personally today?
His words today said to me that it is time to do everything in my power to make sure that the lives that were lost in Newtown and the 32 lives that are lost each and every day in this country will not continue to be the norm. And I am absolutely committed to follow his lead and even go beyond that, to making sure that we turn this society into a civilized society and not a gun-riddled place where people have to fear going to the shopping mall or to the movie theater or to school.
Congresswoman, what do you hear from your colleagues in private? What's the back chatter on this? Is there really a chance for change, that maybe the lobbyists won't have the influence on this issue this time around because it's had such an emotional impact on the country?
You know, I'm so concerned that the NRA boogeyman that kind of floats around the Capitol Dome is not real, but is believed to be real by so many of my colleagues. And I think the American people are going to be critical, and I think the President's right. If the American people demand action, we will get action. But I'm not going to sit back and be a defeatist on this. We have got to move this issue forward. We have got to show the American people that this Congress can do something. We have a moral imperative to do something.
Here's a reaction from Speaker Boehner's office. House committees of jurisdiction will review these recommendations, and if the Senate passes a bill, we will also take a look at that. What's your response to that? Is that passing the buck?
Well, there's plenty of passing the buck that goes on. There is an effort to start it in the Senate to create pressure on the House, and I believe that we can force a vote on the House floor if necessary. And again, the American people will be a critical part of that effort.
Universal background checks, overwhelming support for that. Is that a good start for Congress, in your opinion?
It is probably the best thing we can do at this particular point in time. When 40% of the guns that are purchased in this country are not subject to a background check, it absolutely, I think, floors the American people. Even members of the NRA, when they were polled recently, were under the impression that everyone has a criminal background check, but that's not the case. So there are many thousands upon thousands of people in this country who will illegally have guns because there isn't a universal background check. So it is the #1 priority in my book.
All right. Congresswoman Jackie Speier, appreciate your time tonight here on the Ed Show. Thank you so much for joining us. And I agree with her. It has to start in the Senate, because this is really going to put the Republicans up against the wall. Are they going to be able to turn to the American people and say, no, we're going to filibuster this too? That will be a real eye-opener to a lot of people who are just novice news consumers, because this story has consumed